Now that we have the path marked out with the string, we're actually going to start digging. To do this, the first thing I'm going to do is actually take the tape measure and measure off 6 inches on the shovel. And the reason I'm doing this is our first digging is actually going to be down 6 inches, and that's for the path itself, and that's to accommodate 2 inches of gravel, 2 inches of sand, and then the 2 inches of the brick. So it's 6 inch total. So we're actually going to take our shovel here and measure off 6 inches. And I'll do it on the other side as well, just so I know where 6 inches is going to be. I'm just going to draw the lines together. Doesn't have to be perfect, but the closer you are, the easier it is later on. So I've got now my line 6 inches, so I can just dig down to that depth and not have to keep measuring it. Now some of this sod is actually healthy grass, so we're actually going to cut it up and then save it in order to be used later. That's where the Dutch peon actually comes in helpful. We don't like to waste anything that we already have in order to save money and keep our budget wide open. So the first thing I'm going to do is just dig up some of the sod. The reason I'm actually using a flat tip shovel is so it keeps the line as straight as possible. When you use a rounded dirt shovel, it actually will make rounded edges to the thing, which makes replanting it a lot more difficult. Again, just using the string as our guide, where to dig. And since I'm going to try to save this sod, I'm actually going to cut it into squares or rectangles in order to put it aside when I dig it up. Now the fill dirt, the waste dirt that you're not going to be reusing again, is actually just going to be put elsewhere in order to be used maybe again. If you have a wheelbarrow, it's always the best way to do it. But if you have a wife like mine who doesn't see any reason to spend money on things like that, I am going to be using my bucket. And you always find a place in the yard where it's easy to clean up and it's not going to damage any of the plants or the grass or anything like that. Save you time in the end. Now that I actually have the brick path laid out, we can actually start trying to find the top of the bricks and digging down from that point. To find the level, the top of the bricks, we're actually going to do it in 2 steps. The first step is actually to find the bottom of the gate. So I've tied this pink string on the other side, and I'm going to raise it up until the gate acts as a stop. From that point on, I actually will use my level and just make sure that the string is level. Holding it taut, I'll move it up and down on the string until the bubble becomes centered. When I went to the other side to actually do the same thing, I got the string level. It gave me about an inch gap between the bottom of the gate and the string, which is exactly what we're going for. So I was able to just do it in 2 measurements, which makes it a lot easier. From this point on, we're actually going to take our tape measure and dig down. The mark that we actually put on our shovel is actually 6 inches. So I'm just going to make that line up to this pink spot. And I'll dig along the pink string first in order to get that 6 inches down, and then I'll take my level again and just make sure everything else is level from that point on all sides. So if you take this measurement and I just make sure the string is about 6 inches all along here, that gives me a good base in which to dig from. And I've been digging it out on this side first. I'll move it over to this side and then that side as I go.